I am not on the stage. Did you guys hear anything I said? Did you guys hear anything? Let me know. I forgot to put myself up there. Hello, Mega. Hello, Skiller. So, did you guys hear what I was saying about duels? Give me a quick chime in. Not a damn thing. Yeah, I figured as much. Got to be on stage for you guys to hear me. So I'll go back. So I got a lot to get off my chest today, and I'm gonna I'm gonna be more myself than I'm gonna be Zan. So you know, when you're playing a certain product or when you're trying to represent a brand, you kind of hold back. You talk a little nicer. I'm gonna try not to do that because I really want to let you guys know how I feel, and I want to get your guys' insight as well. So let's get started. And this part I'm not really that upset about, but at the same time, what the fuck, DeFi Kingdoms? Why you got to get rid of my solo duels? I loved solo duels. That's pretty much all I played was solo duels. But I'll get over it and I'll learn the rest of them. But I am curious, how many of you people are playing duels on Serendale? You know, it is kind of a discount over there to be playing on Serendale. So I am curious about how many of you guys are playing on that. But let's get into what I really want to talk about today. Now, this first part I want to talk about, it's not necessarily DeFi Kingdoms related. It's more related to the Web3 all, as a whole. So I want to talk about voting and Web3 and why everybody's so big on voting and want to always sit there and talk about voting. I don't get it. I've ran it through my gray matter filter over and over and over again, and voting makes no sense to me. Now, let me kind of run you through my thought process on this. So let's get the first part of voting that I want to get out of the way. And please, guys, chime in. And if any of you guys want to come on stream and debate these topics with me, go ahead and shoot me a DM over in Discord, and I'll shoot you an invite link and we can talk about this. Because I'm all ears, I'm open. I want to know, I want to get the whole picture. But so I don't really know how the DeFi Kingdoms voting system works. So that's why I'm going to say this is about Web3 in general. So now a lot of the projects I was in the past had some kind of voting system. And basically your voting power depended on how much holdings you had or whether you had one of the original mints or you own land or whatever the situation may be that got you to vote. So for an example, I want to use DeFi Kingdoms. And like I said, I don't use DeFi. I don't know how DeFi Kingdoms voting system really works. So bear with me if I completely misrepresent this. Let me know in the comments and all that good stuff. But let's say the voting, your voting power depends on how much Joule you hold. So I own and I have right now, I'm holding and I got staked about 3,000 or 3,000 Jade, 3,000 Joule. Okay. So does that mean if I vote, I get 3,000 worth of voting power? So my one vote would count as 3,000 votes. And like I said, I don't know if DeFi Kingdoms works this way, but a lot of other projects out there, that's the way it works. So how many people's vote do I cancel out? Do I just cancel out one person, two person, two people? So basically, whoever holds the most Joule pretty much gets to run the show on that. So let's say I own my 3,000 and someone else owns 10,000 of staked Joule. Well, that means they cancel out my vote and probably 10 or 15 more people's votes. So right off the bat, it's not a fair vote. So that's one big reason why I do not like voting in Web3. And like I said, I don't know if DeFi Kingdoms is set up that way. I've never participated in any of the votes or any of that or even looked into it. But I know a lot of the other Web3 projects I was in, it worked out that way. So basically, it worked out where only the top 5 to 10% of people opinion really mattered. So that right there makes voting in Web3 completely useless, in my opinion. Now, if you go and you also look back at a lot of what people are talking about when they talk about, we'll just go off of right now. Skiller says, I've never voted either. So if you look right now, they're talking about voting on summoning. And this has really struck a nerve with me. And I fall in the same category. I've said it also. But thinking about it, you hear people saying, well, I don't own Gen Zero, so my opinion really doesn't matter. Well, yes, your opinion does matter because the Gen Zero summoning will affect everybody. It'll affect everybody, I'd say, almost equally. Yeah, it's going to more directly vote a Gen Zero holder. And that's even if we're talking about changing it only for the Gen Zeros. We really don't know the whole thing on that. And then you also want to, and we'll get more into that on my second topic. Sorry, trying to jump ahead here. So in Web3, that pretty much, in my opinion, the whole how much you stake gives you voting power. That just deletes the whole voting system, in my opinion, right there. And if you think any different, let me know. But that's kind of how I feel about that. But let's get into the second part of why I don't like voting as far as voting in Web3. Now, Web3 projects. I know a lot of us all talk about decentralization, blah, 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 this, that, and the other. I don't care what you say or how you look at it. A Web3 project is a business. Kingdom Studios is a business. All right? I'm sorry. I don't see how it makes any sense for a business to give control over to their customers to decide how they want to operate their business. That just makes no sense to me. No matter how many times I ran that through my gray matter, I could not make any sense with that. It just did. It don't make sense. A customer, or in our case, a player, does not know the full business plan. They do not know. They don't see the books. They don't see all that. Yeah, we could go through and check the blockchain. We could do our spying and all that stuff. But in reality, we really don't know what our vote is really going to change in the game. We don't know what they got planned a year down the line. We don't know what they got planned 2 years down the line. We don't know what they got coming out next week. And I'll use summoning again as an example. We know they're working on another burn mechanism for heroes, but we don't know nothing about that burning mechanism. How's that going to affect the heroes? How's that going to affect any of that? So if we vote for a cooldown and they change the cooldown, and then this next burn mechanic comes out, and all of a sudden we're burning heroes like crazy, and now we have a shortage of heroes. Now we're going to have to go back in and vote to increase or to reduce the cooldown again. I just can't wrap my head around how it makes sense for us to make any business decisions for the company. Now, I know a lot of people are saying that these aren't really business decisions. Well, yeah, they are business decisions. Anything that affects gameplay is going to affect the business. That's like saying at a restaurant, changing the ingredients on stuff is not going to change the business and it's not going to change the amount of customers they get. Sorry about that. Hope that wasn't too loud. So, chime in, guys. Let me know what you guys think. You think I'm crazy? Somewhat agreeing with me? Have a different opinion? Am I missing something? I don't quite get how all this makes sense. Voting makes no sense to me in this. Now, something I would be on board with is if we were able to send our voting power to a certain representative within DeFi kingdoms. You know, like if I wanted to give my voting power to a certain member on the board, or, you know, I always look at things as a business. You know, you have all your board members and they're well informed and know what's going on and they vote and make changes within the business. I just don't, I don't get the whole where we're at with this because none of us really knows what's going on in these projects. Why does that keep going crazy like that? Give me 1 second here, guys. Oh, must be because I'm on Twitter today or X, sorry. But it doesn't make sense to me. I'm sorry. And let me kind of give you another reason why I think people like the whole being able to do voting as a business standpoint. Like if I had a project and I was trying to get something done and it was kind of a risky move, but I wasn't sure and I didn't want to take the responsibility for making that business decision, and then I could be a cop out and let the community just make that decision for me. You know, I don't want to say anybody's too chicken shit to make decisions out there, but yeah, that's kind of what I said. I'm sorry. But that's how I feel about voting. So I was kind of expecting a little more kickback, but I'm not getting any. So I guess I put my 2 cents out there and I'll let you guys roll it over and think. Now, again, guys, remember the invitation's out there. If you want to come in, go ahead and DM me on Discord and I will get right with you. I know I said just DM me, but figure I better check Twitter to see if anybody actually DM'd me on there. No, yeah, DM me on Discord. You can find me in the Jewelers Guild or anywhere like that. But I have a couple more topics here I do want to discuss. Well, actually, it's two topics kind of built into one topic. So I don't really know how to approach this because I don't have a solution. So I had 3 people reach out to me in the last 2 weeks on Discord. 2 of them I actually did a live call with, and we talked quite a bit on there. And one of them we just messaged back and forth. So people are getting the wrong impression out there about DeFi kingdoms, and they're getting it from us, myself included. So I went back through and I put my brain in incognito mode, you know, kind of like what you do in Google, and I rewatched a whole bunch of content. My content and most of the known people out there's content. And I kind of see where they're getting these impressions. So I'll cover the first conversation I had, and it's separate from the other two. The other two are pretty similar. But the first one, he came and said that after watching a lot of videos, he signed up for DeFi Kingdoms. He's okay with crypto, so he was able to, you know, bridge some coins in and different stuff like that. So he was able to get all set up. There wasn't any problems with that. He actually he likes the interface and he likes the way all that works within DeFi Kingdoms. But he wanted to come play DeFi Kingdoms because he heard about all the gameplay. So we got into DeFi Kingdoms. Sorry, I got a little itch there. And he started looking around, started doing this, that, and the other. And he started playing some hunts, started doing some quests. And he said he quickly realized that technically, yes, there is gameplay, but there's not a whole lot. Hey, J Dubs, how's it going? So he was really disappointed in the amount of gameplay. And he was very frustrated with the fact that there was no beginner level gameplay. And I'm saying gameplay because he's considering only combat as gameplay. And I went through and I explained to him, well, we also have hero building, we have your army building, we got a little bit of crafting, and at this point, before duels came out, and I explained duels to him a little bit, and he was good with that. And he said, yeah, I get it. There is gameplay, but there's not really gameplay. We kind of went back and forth on the fact that whether there's gameplay or not in a nice way. It was a good conversation. So, how do we keep people from thinking that there's a full game loop or whatever you want to call it? So when they get here, they're not disappointed in what they come across. And I did spend quite a bit of time explaining to them that we're only about 10 to 20% complete right now. They're still building the project. There's a lot more coming out. I told them, here soon we're looking at, or not soon. I said, eventually, hopefully by the end of the year, at least, we're looking at a full from level 1 all the way up to level 20 gameplay and different stuff like that. I did explain to him that PvP is coming, and he was excited about that. So I think I don't know how to respond to this, because if one person reached out to me about this and how disappointed he was when he got here with the lack of gameplay after we promoted it as we have gameplay, there's got to be a bunch more out there that do the same thing. They come to play, then they find out that there's limited gameplay. And another thing he also mentioned was the difficulty of the battles. And I explained to him, well, those are boss fights. They're not your beginner level fights. Those are designed to be boss fights. And I went through and I explained to him why DeFi Kingdom started out with boss fights as opposed to doing scrub hunts or simpler battles first. And I do support their decision to go that route. But it's still hard for a new player coming in to grasp the concept that there's no beginner play. So for that, I'm looking for suggestions, your guys' thoughts on how, as a community, maybe we could represent ourselves a little better with that. I'm not really sure what kind of changes I can make. Now, I did go back and I did see in a few of my videos alone, where I might have represented it as there was a lot more gameplay than there really is. Because I consider there's a lot of gameplay because I do hero building and different stuff like that. So what does J-Dub say down here? Not sure why team decided to go with boss first versus easy stuff first, to be honest. I think, and I'm not sure who I heard this from, and if this is really the real reason why they went with boss fights over, let's just call them scrub hunts. I think they did that because once they get the mechanics in place for the boss battles, it's going to cover all the basic mechanics to fill in all the other battles. So it might have taken them 2 months to make a boss battle. And after they're done with that, it'll only take like a few days or whatever to do each one of the scrub battles. That's backwards. I agree, J Dubs. It does seem like it's backwards, but I really think that there is good reasons behind it if that's the mechanics. Actually, I think that was Workhorse heard talking about that. He was talking about that on one stream. Go with 1 to 10 easy fights, and while everybody is trying to design the boss fights, I agree, J Dubs, but I'm not a programmer. I don't know how none of that stuff works. I myself, I would have loved 1 through 10 first, and I think it would have made onboarding a lot easier. But at the same time, would people have got bored a lot quicker with just those as opposed to these boss battles? I'm still, for myself, I'm still trying to figure out I mean, I understand the battles in the box, the rock box, but, it's still somewhat harder for me. So it's different. I think they were trying to appease all the OGs that have high level heroes and have been here for a whole time waiting. Yeah, be easy. That could be a good reason also. I mean, it's really hard. And I also think that I don't know. I think if we want to get gamers, real gamers in here, I think we need to do harder battles than easier battles because that's going to attract the not real gamer. I don't know what you want to call it. Casual gamer. There we go. Casual gamer sounds better. Like for me, I'm a casual gamer, so I would have liked the easier fights better. But you know, it kind of works both ways. Rabito, it's hard to address because of what most people frame of reference is for a game. Most people buy a game to expect a complete product. Yes, Rabito, I think that's where we're struggling really hard also is because, you know, as us that have been, I'll speak for myself. For me, that's been in crypto forever, got excited about Web3, got excited about all this stuff. This is cool coming in and watching it build and all that stuff. I'm awesome with all that. But if we want to get a gamer into the ecosystem, it's hard because they are looking for a complete game. That's what they're used to. That's what they know. Uh, J Dubs, why is it so hard to re-release Boars and Box and just tune it for like 5 to 10? I agree with this. It would shut us up. It would shut us up. J Dubs, I hate to tell you, but I don't think there is a way to shut us up. I think no matter what, we're gonna find something to yak about. But I have a hard time because I really don't know what they're dealing with and what's going on out there. So I don't want to make too many judgment calls on all that. So, how do you address that? I think they're doing a good job for what they got. Honestly, I think 2 years down the line from here, we're all going to be surprised and look back at what we are dealing with now compared to what we have then. The new players are getting screwed. Yes, Skiller, and I think that's one of the problems we're having here is the new players are coming in and they're either so far behind or it's not what they're expecting for a gameplay. And for us, anything new is exciting. Yep, facts. So anything we can do as a community to try and properly represent gameplay would be better. I know moving forward, I'm going to have it in the back of my minds. I'll probably be saying 100 million disclaimers as I talk about gameplay when I'm doing videos. So bear with me, guys. The problem is if we get them in and they're discouraged with what they get, it's going to be 10 times harder in the future to get them to come back. You know, once you lose a customer, it's hard to get that customer back. And if you lose one customer, he's going to tell 10 other people. So, in losing that one customer, we lost 10 customers. You know, if we can make one happy, we can get about 3 new customers. You know, it's not a good situation to lose people. And luckily, I think I talked him into not selling off anything and just check back in every now and then, see how the game's coming. But he wasn't willing to continue playing with the way it was. He says he's already beat both the hunts. He's not interested in any of the other stuff. He doesn't care about the questing or any of that. So I don't think we lost him. I think he's just going to hold off. But again, he came from the traditional gaming. So he was expecting a full game like we kind of discussed a little bit earlier. So let's get into the other 2 conversations I had with new people. So both these people had basically the same complaint. They watched a bunch of our videos, and now I'm assuming none of this information came from me because he reached out to me. The first guy reached out to me, and he said I was the most honest about talking about this part of the game. So let's talk about coming into DeFi Kingdoms as an investor. So an investor coming into DeFi Kingdoms. Now, luckily, neither of these guys had a whole lot of money, so that their money's not going to affect our markets at all, whether it came in or left. Thank God. But if you're coming into DeFi Kingdoms as an investor, like I have aspects of DeFi Kingdoms that I am invested in and am using as an investment. When do I expect to see my return on this investment? Me personally, I don't think I'm going to see any kind of real return for 2 to 3 years. So I'm not expecting anything. Most younger generation people coming into DeFi Kingdoms or coming into any projects in the cryptoverse as an investment, they're expecting a lot quicker turnaround. Why that is, I don't know. It's hard to explain it. For me, it's hard because I just don't get it. But, the one guy I was talking to, he thought he was going to come in, play the game passively, get his ROI in 90 days, and leave his initial investment within the game. And the reason he was under this impression is because a lot of people talk so highly about how awesome the tokenomics are within DeFi Kingdoms, how the tokens are deflationary, how this, that, the other, all these great things that are true. But they're not going to give that 90-day turnaround. It's just not going to happen. They're not going to be able to passively earn in DeFi Kingdoms. They can do a 90-day turnaround if they want to go flip heroes, play the markets, different stuff like that. Exactly, J-Dub. Players who play DeFi Kingdoms for ROI are going to be seriously disappointed. And that's the problem. They're getting the impression that they can do that in DeFi Kingdoms. They're thinking they can come in and passively play the game. There's nothing passive about getting an ROI in DeFi Kingdoms. Exactly, J-Dubs. You got to play DeFi Kingdoms for the fun. And unfortunately, I did find a lot of takes where a lot of people out there are talking about how they can make money in DeFi Kingdoms. They're not saying that it's a long-term play. They're also not saying it's a quick turnaround either. So it's really hard. It's a byproduct of being in the crypto space. People are here to make money. If that's their goal, there is an opportunity cost playing DeFi Kingdoms than putting meme coins. Oh, punting meme coins. So I agree, Rabito. And that's the problem. People, is there's a lot of not games, but a lot of stuff you can do within cryptocurrency to where you can get a quick turnaround if you're lucky. I got to put emphasis on that. If you're lucky, I know we can learn and we can understand and we can know all these teams out there and all these people and buy into the products they're telling us to buy into. But in the end, it's still a matter of luck. Any one of these projects can crash. The reason why I'm so invested in DeFi Kingdoms, and I explained this to these two gentlemen, is that the risk of DeFi Kingdoms going to zero is way less than a lot of the other ones. Well, what happens when you have low risk? You have low returns. High risk, high returns. And they understood that and they got that. But again, they wanted their quick turnaround and they just weren't going to get it. And I couldn't explain to them that or how they could get it. Exactly, Skiller. You can make money in DeFi Kingdoms, but it's not easy. It's not passive. And that's what they're thinking about. And one of the guys was really hung up on the whole fact that Joule is deflationary. And he looked at it as Joule's deflationary and it deflates with every transaction. And we have such high transaction rates. He thought that it was going to go up quick. And as all he saw was it going down. And it was really hard to explain to him, our treasury, not our treasury, but what do they call that? Our pools and all that are not very well stocked. A little investment or a little bit of money in or a little bit of money out is going to make a big difference in the Joule price. And I couldn't get him to quite understand that, I know we talk about a lot about how Joule's deflationary. And honestly, guys, in my opinion, I don't want to hear that damn word again after these two conversations. I don't want to hear it no more. I get it. It's true. It's fact. But if that's what they're coming in for is the fact that Joule is deflationary and they're buying into Joule and they're just seeing the token value price go down, we lost them. I don't think we're getting them back. I don't know how to get someone back when they put money in and is all they see is the value going down. But yet we're telling them how awesome the tokenomics are and all that. It's very misleading. So again, that's another one I don't know how to fix. And I went back through a lot of my stuff and I don't see where I was talking about any of that and how watching my stuff, how that would all work out. Ha 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 ha. Every token nowadays is deflationary. It's the new standard. Exactly, Skiller. But a lot of them are not screaming it at the rooftops. Got here late, been watching at 2x. Very interesting. Hey, Jeremy, how's it going? Glad to see you in here. The only tokenomics that matters the most people. We need the people. If we can get the people, we can get the numbers all to come up. And honestly, even if Jewel stayed at $1, or not $1, well, that'd be nice. Let's just say Jewel stayed at where it's at now. What is it, like 15 cents, I think, the last time I looked? If it just stays right where it's at right now forever, but all the items and all the stuff in the game became more valuable, that's what would excite me. The tokens themselves, well, the items, we need to get the items coming up, but we can't, what are we going to do? I think everything will work better once we get players in the game. But as what I'm fighting with is if I've had these 3 people reach out to me, who am I? I'm nobody out here. But they reached out to me. How many other people are coming into the game and leaving because of these reasons? Because they came in with high expectations and got here and found out it's not quite how we represented it. That's what scares me, because if 3 reached out to me, there's got to at least be 30 or 40 more people out there that have done the same thing. So just kind of want your thoughts on how maybe we can represent this different, maybe even just get this stuff a little bit in people's ears. Like, and I want to say I've watched all the AMAs. I watched back almost 3 months worth of AMAs. And boy, that's a lot of listening to. And boy, they talked about a lot of stuff we forgot about. But not once in any of the AMAs did they talk about tokenomics or any of that. So they're not getting it from the team. They're getting it from us out here. Jeremy, I know how to sell the game, but it's going to require Skiller to become a full-time streamer. Yeah, we get some Sticks intern. He can start doing some more videos, those music videos. I love those things. And by the way, Sticks intern, glad to see you showed up. An easy fix. IMO, get Jewel listed on a major. Oh, hell no, do not list Jewel on a sex right now. Please, for the love of God, do not list Jewel on a sex right now. Please. More eyes on DFK, and most people will think it's a safe project because it's listed. It's what you're going to get if you've listed on a sex, and this is just my opinion, absolutely not financial advice, is you're going to get a bunch of people buying Jewel. It's going to go up, and it's going to go right back down. It's going to go up, and it's going to go right back down. Please, in my opinion, no. What we got here? Marcus. Hey, Marcus, how's it doing? Been watching your videos for a while, Zan. Love the content. I got by BEC in the Discord. I agree with you 100% that the way we talk DFK up as players does not match up when people come on their own. Thanks for that, Marcus. And yes, I agree. It does not match up to how much we hype it up. And we are hyped up on it because I love it. I mean, there's has not been a game in a long time that I have not enjoyed more than DeFi Kingdoms. But if they don't have the same mentality as me, the same want, the same desire and gameplay and all that I have, it's not going to be fun for them. Skiller is right about making ROI not being easy at first. Once you understand it, it isn't that hard and very, very fun. Yeah, Jeremy, I agree, but we got to get them in here and stay in here long enough to where they can get to that point. And even at that, it's not. It still involves effort. Let's put it that way. I think they were more looking for just buying the Jewel, putting some in the LPs. Well, they did mention the LPs. They were very disappointed with the gardens. That's what they thought we were going to be able to do. Be easy. Yes, I agree with that too, Jeremy. I think that's become because we see the potential, but it takes 6 to 12 months for the potential to hit or to be hit. We really need the game to be pretty much playable this cycle, or we kind of screwed. People need game. Yes, Marcus, and I am kind of really worried about that. But we've already made it through one bull, one bear, and another bull, or get going into a bull. And they say if you make it through 2 bull markets, you're pretty much here to stay. So we need to make it through this next bull market. And one thing I'm going to do is I've been working on it for a while, and I just need to get off my ass and actually get to working on it and finish it up, is I want to make a video on why I'm so bullish on DeFi Kingdoms. And that's going to cover the vision and all that stuff and the realities of what's going on in DeFi Kingdoms. And I hope that's where we're going to go. I still believe a listing is what we need, or DFK will only be a small group of players. You won right about the pump and dump, but easy access to buying Jewel is needed too. You do have a point there, Skiller, about the ease of buying. I think it's really hard because I've seen a lot more bad things come out of sex listings than I have good things with projects like ours. And that's kind of more what I'm basing it on. True, I think we can make it through this bull market, but it would be great to capture a lot of players this cycle so the team could cruise through the next cycle with Jewel at $10 plus and team can send. Yeah, that one's a hard one because it is hard because we do need the player base for any of that to happen. And I think we will get a lot more through the next bull market, but I think a lot of it's going to be based on proper marketing, and that we don't have. It's all about momentum. By next cycle, some other game may come up, and I feel DFK has to prove that it is a game and that people love to play it. The cycle is crucial because it can set us up big. Exactly. Hi, Zan, I'm way behind. I'm on the voting topic still. Would you love to talk to you about this on stream sometime? Don't want to interrupt whatever you are on now. I think you have very legitimate grips. Yeah, Sticks Intern, if you want, just send me a DM and I'll send you an invite. I'm pretty much wrapping up this last topic and I got plenty of time. Marcus, true, the market is not there. Yeah, and I think for DeFi Kingdoms, we're fighting 2 battles. For one, we're fighting the market as it is and all that stuff. The second is we're also fighting getting traditional gamers to play Web3 games. We're fighting a 2-way battle. We're fighting the market and we're fighting traditional gaming. And that's going to be hard. And that's why I think it's really crucial that once we get people in, we keep them here. It's definitely a game already, LOL. I've been playing all weekend. Who said it isn't a game? LOL. I don't think they weren't saying it's not a game. They're saying it's not. There's not that many options in the game. They got two different battles they can play as far as what they consider a game. For me, I consider it a lot of game. I could probably play this game for 8 to 10 hours straight and still not run out of things to do. So it comes down to the well-known audio clip, laser sound, NFTs make money. They do, they make money. The the most DFK players are aware of, but the game is active and not passive. Exactly, Jeremy. And I think as far as the investors guys that I talked to, they were definitely looking for passive. Be easy. There's so much to do in DeFi kingdoms. It's fucking dope. I agree. And for us, it is. It's not the kind of game that will get mass adoption, though, compared to Web 2 games. There is not much, yes. Most of the money making players just shut up and stat gains. The loud voices are not optimal. Haven't solved much of the game yet. Yes. It's literally 20% completed. Exactly. And that's what I keep pushing. It's a niche product for certain types of individuals. If folks want a triple A, then they should go play that. We want strategy, critical thinking, lore, pixel art, nostalgia, etc. Exactly. And it's hard because that's not exactly what they're doing, or not exactly what they're thinking they're getting into when they come here. Money makers wouldn't make even more. Sorry. Money makers would make even more money if the market wasn't broader with more adopters. Yes, I agree, but agreed the game is nowhere near completed. We are all the skeptics that are playing on the hopes that the game will take off, so we will have an advantage. Mass adoption wouldn't come soon. And I agree. I think we're so far out from mass adoption. Unfortunately, I'm worried mass adoption is going to come after this bull cycle that we're coming up on. So that's what worries me. We know it's not a triple A, but the game has to be complete and same capacity for people to really commit. Yes, Marcus, and that's and again that's what we're fighting with is it's people aren't realizing the game's not complete. They're coming in expecting to see a complete game, and it's really hard to kind of pull them back from that mentality. And that was one of the main struggles I had with that one guy I was talking to. I really wanted him to come back. I really didn't want to have to argue with that whole point that it's not complete yet. That was really hard for me. I agree with J Dubs. Come to DFK for fun, not to make money. If you can make some gains along the way, then cool. Definitely agree. Is you got to be coming here to have fun. Yeah, that's why people FOMO'd in the last cycle thinking the game would be done in a few months, and there we are. Yeah, and they not only that, they had a bunch of obstacles they had to overcome. Boy, a lot of shit happened. And then right as we're getting ready to go into a bear market, boy, that was whew. To be honest with you, I'm really surprised DeFi Kingdom survived all that. And that's another reason why I'm so bullish is the fact that they did survive all that. Yeah, I definitely want to just play. I definitely just want to play the game. I wrote profits off long ago. I made it on soul memes. Honestly, guys, if you guys want to know my investment strategy, I hold like 5 coins and they're all blue chips, and that's all I do. I just hold them. That's my main investment strategy. Now, I do hold a fair amount of Jewel. Unfortunately, it's not all staked. I probably should stake and just get those easy gains. But for the most part, most of my investments are in blue chips. Now, I do consider a lot of investments that I have in different NFT projects and stuff like that. Those are investments that I have that are a combination of fun and investments. So I'm not expecting any gains out of them, but it will be nice to get them. I agree we need a full game. However, if new players think the game is too complicated now, imagine where the game imagine when the game is complete. I I see exactly where you're coming with that, Skiller, but I think we're thinking of the full game being completed, not realizing part of that full game being completed, the beginning levels of the game. Like I think of the full game being completed as when you come into the game, you start out at level 1, you do all that beginning stuff, and as you progress, you get more and more and more. So sorry about that, guys. So I think once the game is complete, it'll be a lot easier for people to start playing because they will have that beginner gameplay to play. Completely doesn't matter if the game is interesting and fun. Exactly, Roberto. I think it's interesting and fun as we are right now. Yeah, it's a good few months of learning for a new player, but at the same time, the complexity could be intriguing for some individuals personally. I don't like simple, get bored quickly. I agree. It's got to be a mixture between simple and hard. Large cash prizes for PvP. Sorry, I got blocked there. Will override all the problems with complexity. This is coming from a non gamer. This is coming from a non gamer. Not joking. If I was new today, I probably wouldn't play, to be honest. Yes, Skiller, I think that's what we're dealing with. And to address my opinion on what Jeremy says here, I don't think the large cash prizes are really going to bring that many people in. I think it'll bring some in, but I don't think the large cash prizes is going to bring mass adoption. But I think it definitely will help. What do we got going on over here? Oh, okay. Sorry, guys. Just waiting on some things. So I'm just double checking real quick here. My bad. We need PvP, more PvE, level 30. I don't think we need level 30. I think it's way too soon for level 30, but that's just my opinion. All basic class codex, yellow eggs, maybe some kind of PJ quest. And by the end of this cycle, and I think DFK could have enough to ride into the bear. I think those are all things, and they're all things we're working on. But I think PvP is definitely key. I'm big on it. We need PvP, even though I don't care about PvP play. But I think that will bring more players in. But I think a lot more PvE content is what we need. I would like, and this is my vision of what I see DFK in the future being as far as PvE goes. I see it as being so much PvE content that we will we won't be able to complete it all for a day. You know, there'll be so much that we won't be able to do it. Unfortunately, Sticks intern, you're only partially correct. I've heard it from other places as well, but that is one of the big ones. Well, there just needs to be a strong gameplay loop. Level 30 would give a lot of runway. I agree, but I don't think we have enough gameplay up to level 30 yet. So I think we need to get full gameplay up to 30 or up to 20 before we go into 30. LOL at Skiller55. I would just watch YouTube for a week for a figure it out. I would still jump in today, I think. I think that depends on your determination of how you want, how interested it all seems to you. For sure, but you know me, I really don't play video games. I take a lot to learn everything. I'm glad I got in when I did. For me, okay, so let's talk about my main attraction to DeFi Kingdoms. What I like about DeFi Kingdoms. I do enjoy the PvE. I would like a lot easier battles because that's the style of gameplay I like. But for me, I like building games. I like crafting games. I like that type stuff. So for me, a big draw is, of course, summoning, the little bit of crafting we have, and then I absolutely love building my legion, trying to get, you know, this many of this kind of player, you know, leveling up these characters to try and match up with, or these heroes to match up with this hero, so I can get their genes lined up to build the exact hero that I want. Do it 20 times because I got rugged the first 19 times. You know, that's the kind of gameplay I enjoy. So for me, DeFi Kingdoms is a perfect match. For a lot of players coming in, they're looking for combat. And they're I I even heard one guy say the combat was too difficult. He's out of here. So, you know, that goes many ways. So it's hard. For a lot of us, it's perfect to where it is. And of course, we want to see it evolve for sure. But you know me, I don't play video games. It takes a lot to learn everything. I'm glad I got in when I did. Exactly, Skiller. I think I am too. I don't know what a paladin was when I first started. Oh, Skiller, I love you, but I'm an old World of Warcraft guy, so I definitely know what a paladin is. Come in for the gardens, had no interest in NFTs at all, but shortly after transitioned full invested amount into hero NFTs over a couple months. I'm sure that's a lot of people's story. It has to be easy. I'm sure that that is a lot. Unfortunately, right now we can't even attract them with the gardens because the APRs and all that and what we're making off the gardens ain't shit compared to what we could put into garden or not gardens, but LP pools, other places. You know, our little percentages that we are getting off of our gardens is nothing compared to what we get off of other LP pools. You know, right now there's LP pools you can get into on Coinbase that are paying 8%. So LP pools definitely aren't going to draw any attention to us. Most of the anxiety and criticism of DFK economy I hear are coming from people who talk about DFK more than they play it. The game loop is real. I love it. I'm not worried about the future of DFK. Yes, Jeremy, I'm not worried about it either. I just want it to go. That's all cool, Sticks. I would love to hear your take on that, though. So maybe on your next office hours, you can chime in there and give me your opinion and what you're thinking. Yeah, the gardens aren't any attraction any longer until we move to a new chain and start a new realm again. Exactly. But, unfortunately, right now, our best chance to get people into the game are people that are already in crypto. And unfortunately, people that are already in crypto are going to be looking for a game to where they can make money at. So it's a real battle we're fighting here. I mean, it's really hard. So I just I really want to do streams where I come on here and we're able to, maybe drag a new player in here and there and get the attention that we need and not have it as a misleading at all. What we got here from Code Green? Code Green, DFK Gardens APRs range from 15 to 30% with boosted rewards from Garden Quest. All right. I'm not going to dispute you because you're probably right because it sounds like you actually know what you're talking about. I just know whenever I currently took most of mine out of the gardens, but every time I had stuff in the gardens, my rewards just weren't shit. And even including the rewards I was getting off of stuff. Skiller, you need to show the world how to DFK, Code Green, and Crystal Vale. So, Code Green, are you talking about the new rewards or the old rewards? Because I don't know. I haven't messed with the new ones at all. And the old ones, yes, they were getting the 15 to 30%, but I still didn't seem like I was gaining anything out of them. I had one garden where I had almost $3,000 in, and now it wasn't one of the high yield gardens. It was a lower yield garden, but I wasn't getting crap out of it. I think I was getting like 100, 150 crystal a day. We also need more gardener hero functions, though. Yeah, I do think we need more hero gardening functions. I've been thinking about doing that. Is starting to stock up the gardens again to help offset the gas reward or gas charges. I call it taxes. To cover the taxes in questing. Yeah, I'm talking about being a higher yield garden, running Garden Quest 24/7 with good pets. Yeah, I could see that. Maybe I'll start playing with them again, just see how much that actually comes out. So I'm not speaking bullshit. But Skiller got a $25 raffle. All right, Skiller, way to go. The bulk of rewards come from the quest, not the harvest. Oh, I see what you're saying, Code Green. Yeah, I didn't. Okay, so I got to admit, I do use DFK Helper. So my gardeners would go garden, and I know we get the report, but I never really looked at the report on how much I actually got from my garden rewards. So that is a good point. Maybe that is one of the big things. But yeah, my rewards weren't crap every day. Nice catch, Skiller. Congrats. All right, way to go, Skiller. Yeah, I don't get no hunt rewards like that. I don't get none of that stuff. But my 1 to 2 on average hunts a day don't really give me enough entries. So we are at the hour mark. Anything else you guys want to bring to the table? I can stay as long as you guys need me to tonight, but I don't want to just keep dragging on about the same stuff because I don't want this, as much as I want this to make a point video, especially about the voting, and that we need to figure out maybe a better strategy on how to get people into the game. But, and I'm all ears on that. Basically, what I'm doing right now is bitching and moaning because I don't have no solutions for you all. But kind of want to know how to solve this problem. So if you guys can think of anything, let me know. And also, please feel free to comment if you're watching in a, what do they call that? Afterwards. But I more just want to bring it to everybody's attention that maybe we need to think a little bit better when we're presenting the game to other people and talking to people. And bring back my damn solo duels. I'm going to put out a petition there. There, we can vote on, we want to bring back solo duels. I'll support that vote. All right, what do we got here? There we go. We got Marcos voting. Bring back solo duels. Yeah, I got honk raffle all day yesterday. 37 entries. All right. You know, I thought about buying some of that honk token just to hold it and see what happens. That doesn't seem like that's a bad investment. It seems like they got some good people over there, but I don't really know nothing about those guys. But that would be another one of those not truly meant to be an investment. So, all right. Well, if y'all ain't got nothing else, I'm going to wrap this up. I really appreciate you guys showing up. If you don't mind, please give the video a like. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. All that good stuff. So, you all have a wonderful day or evening or whatever you're at this time of day. And thank you.